Good evening, this is Rwanda Television coming live to you from Kigali, Rwanda. Welcome to the news bulletin in English. We'll begin with the headlines. Journalists and other members of the general public in Rwanda have been calling for a clear distinction to be made between professionals in the media sector. The government of Rwanda has a plan to reduce the number of children with stunting to 19% by 2024. Parents say that programs put in place to address this issue have had a great impact on the development and growth of their children. I am Olive Nete. It's so wonderful to have your company tonight. Now to the news in details. Journalists and other members of the general public in Rwanda have been calling for a clear distinction to be made between professionals in the media sector and those that use social media sites calling themselves journalists when they really are not and end up tarnishing the profession as a whole. The calls come as the country prepares for a new media policy that could include principles on how social media sites should be used in the dissemination of information. Even though technology has revolutionized the way information is accessed, it has brought its own set of serious challenges, especially when it comes to the integrity of the media sector, presenting a real danger of the manipulation of the masses. The coming new media policy is therefore being looked upon to address this serious matter, with the objective being the establishment of clear directives and guidelines on how social media sites can be used to disseminate information without excessively exposing the general public to misinformation. Moving ahead, the government of Rwanda has a plan to reduce the number of children with stunting to 19% by 2024. Parents say that programs put in place to address this issue have had a great impact on the development and growth of their children. We have details. At Mareba Health Center in Bugesera district, Dati Bazubagira is with her daughter Martha Mukashema. When Bazubagira found out that her grandchild was malnourished, she became worried and began to follow up on his health, both at home and at the health center. His grandchild is among those assisted in the program to fight malnutrition at the Mareba Health Center. You bring a child here in severe condition, but when they get the porridge mix, they get better and better. Children who weigh less start to get healthy. I mean, why wouldn't we appreciate these programs? Parents are grateful that because of Shisha Kibondo, a fortified porridge mix is given to children at higher risk of getting malnutrition. Some mothers are also provided with milk. They started giving me the porridge mix while the child was 6 months. As I came to the hospital for checkups, I would see progress. I brought my child when she was severely ill. She was in red. The healthcare providers took care of the child, and today the child is in green. Agnes Mukanghundiye, a nutritionist at the Mareba Health Center, says that there is improvement in the development of children with malnutrition due to these initiated programs. The government established early childhood development centers to address malnutrition and stunting in children. 288 children are studying in the Karamamodo ECD in Nyarugenge district. At this center, children are taken care of by teachers. They are trained to have good hygiene and also provided with healthy meals. The fact that I have my child in this center has helped me in a number of ways. In terms of health, they are also trained to have good hygiene, trained to have good behaviors, and they also feed them and do a lot for them to help them to be healthy. According to Fortinet Mukandabereye, the director of Kamuyira ECD in Kicukiro district, the ECD is greatly assisted in the development of children. We have about 6 services that we provide here. When the child is properly followed upon through these programs, the child can't get stunting. And that is the goal of our country, that we must eradicate malnutrition and stunting among children of Rwanda. The Demographic Health Survey of 2019-2020 showed that the number of children with stunting decreased by 5% as they reached 33% from 38% in 8 years. In June this year, during the Mother and Child Health Week, the survey conducted revealed that the number reduced to 25%. Meanwhile, the country's goal is to reach 19% by the end of 2024.
Programu zagiye zitanga umusaruro kubera ko urebye igihe uko tugenda
All these programs has been productive because the more we progress, the better we reduce stunting. Yes, it is not decreasing as much as we would like, but it is decreasing because as of 2019, we were at 33%. As I told you in June, we conducted a survey and the report revealed that we are currently at 25%. The National Child Development Agency also points out that in 2022-2023, 739,527 children were provided with the Shishachiwondo porridge mix, and 480,560 mothers were also provided with the same porridge mix. Programs established to fight malnutrition include Shishachiwondo porridge mix given to pregnant and lactating mothers, milk given to malnourished children, programs related to sanitation and hygiene, child growth monitoring form, and sensitizing people to have vegetable gardens. Now to agricultural matters, farmers in the northern province of Rwanda have been commending the government of Rwanda for championing the use of terraces to fight soil erosion that had been greatly hindering the productivity of their farms. Back in 2008, when the policy was first introduced, few farmers understood its significance, but that has now changed, with some of the steepest hillsides in the entire country. The northern province had long struggled to fully utilize its agricultural potential because of the problem of soil erosion, but that has gradually begun to be reversed, with yields in different food crops almost doubling on average per hectare since the introduction of the terraces. The government of Rwanda has continued to implement the policy in other parts of the country as well, with the benefits far exceeding the agriculture sector, to touch on other important matters like environmental protection and the prevention of the natural creation of high-risk zones over time that can do and claim lives when left unchecked. Moving ahead, as Rwanda prepares to join the rest of the globe in celebrating the International Day of Rural Women on Sunday, women in Rusizi district of the country's western province say they have learned to be self-reliant, no longer depending on their husbands for each and everything as it used to be in the past. They say that in addition to catering to their responsibilities in the home, they also actively seek to earn money, helping their families to develop faster. Officials of the National Women's Council in Rusizi have been acknowledging the positive changes in the way women in rural areas are now able to break through stereotypes, but also note that the challenges have persisted in changing mindsets. With this year's theme of the International of Rural Women supporting the development of rural women, Rusizi district still struggles with problems of couples that do not practice family planning, which has proved to be one of the greatest challenges to the development. Moving ahead, some residents of Kigali city say that due to the increase in commodity prices nowadays, it is very difficult to find enough food, especially those with young children who need a healthy diet. Meanwhile, this week is global recognition of the Universal Plate campaign. Follow the details. Amina Mukarukundo is a mother who lives in Kacyiru sector in the city of Kigali. She explains that one of her main priorities when preparing a meal is making sure that her young children get a balanced diet so that they are less likely to suffer from diseases caused by poor nutrition. I give them fruits. I know that fruits only are not a healthy diet, but before giving those fruits, I also prepare a good meal, such as taking banana plantain and vegetables and other nutrients, and then feed my child. On the other hand, some parents say that nowadays it seems difficult for those with low income to get a healthy diet due to the constant increase of commodity prices, which may lead to various consequences, such as poor nutrition. Commodity prices are increasing day by day. A kilogram of Irish potatoes is 600, and other type of these potatoes are at 800 Rwandan francs. It is expensive, but we buy them to provide a healthy diet to our children. From the 12th to the 19th of this month, the world dedicates the time to share meals with those in need as a global demonstration of advocacy and celebration of efforts towards zero hunger. Some residents appreciate the act. According to some hotels, it is important to remember those who are in need by sharing with them what they can't afford due to their financial status.
twumvaga rero ko byaba ari byiza ko natwe nk'abakozi ba hoteli
We also thought it would be good as hotel personnel to join others in this activity of sharing with the needy. But we as Marriott, we have a program where we share with people in need, like once in 2 months, and take time to visit them and enjoy with them.
tugasangira n'abantu tukabasura.
Students who attend culinary arts school also benefit from the acquisition of new skills that could open up a variety of career opportunities.
There's another initiative we are embarking on, trying to get it, since we train them on nutrition, on cooking well. It's not about how much food that you eat, but how nutritious that food is. These days, things are so expensive. Beans, potato are all very expensive. But what can we do now? So we are training that people will use the little they have to able to eat well. And so as that is going on now, what we are doing is we're able to train our students. When they finish, we have a program that we want to use them. They go into different communities, into different households, to really show the mothers who children are having, what do you call it here, kwashoko, but that is malnutrition. Malnutrition, okay, or kwashoko, or whatever. So we want to train them to go in and really teach the people what to do. That you can have a little mushroom, you can have dodo, you can have your little potato, but there is a way to cook it to make it nutritious.
Youths working in Gatenga's Metal Works Center here in Kigali are happy about the fact that their skills in making cooking pots, stoves, and more have been helping them to develop, and are urging other young people not to be afraid of hard work and stop wasting their time seeking get-rich-quick schemes. Many of those working at the center have families of their own to support, and they say that they are able to do so thanks to the skills they put to use there. The managers of the center thank the good leadership of the country that has made such life-changing initiatives possible, especially policies that encourage the formation of cooperatives. The Metal Works Center is home to 3 cooperatives and 2 companies and has 120 people working in it. They include 10 youths that were successfully rehabilitated at the Iwawa Rehabilitation Center on Lake Kivu in the Western Province before rejoining the society. Now to health matters, let us also inform you that we'll be having a health segment every Saturday, and today's health segment will be speaking about Down syndrome, a common condition in children. Dr. Christian Umuhoza, a senior pediatrician at the University Teaching Hospital of Kigali, will take us through the details about this condition. Follow.
Down syndrome used to be known as trisomy 21. So this is a genetic condition, and that genetic condition are going to have something that is contained in our DNA called chromosomes. So our DNAs are arranged in chromosomes, and generally human beings have 46 chromosomes. But for people with Down syndrome, most of them are going to have an extra copy of a chromosome. And the chromosome 21 is going to have, instead of having 2 copies, it is going to have 3 copies. So they're going to have 47 chromosomes. And the addition of that extra chromosome is going to cause the clinical presentation of that condition. The likelihood of getting it increases with maternal age. So the more you are aged, especially after 35 years of age, the chances or the bad chances of getting it are going to increase. And many women are going to be more likely to get children with this condition after they get 35 years of age. But it can also occur before 35 years of age.
This leads me to ask this question. Can Down syndrome be detected when someone is pregnant, or you notice it after giving birth?
Down syndrome is among the conditions, the genetic condition that can be detected prenatally during the prenatal screening. So there are some tests that are going to be done using the amniotic fluid where the baby is located, but sometimes also they can use other markers coming from the blood, coming from that fluid, or markers coming from the sac with where the baby is located, the placenta. And by just sending those samples and by trying to track for some markers, they can detect the presence of a baby with Down syndrome.
Speaking of that, there are some parents who do not do prenatal checkups, or maybe they do those prenatal checkups, but they don't get to know the situation when they are pregnant. But after giving birth, how can a parent notice that his child has Down syndrome?
If the prenatal screening was not done at birth, generally the child is going to have some clinical features that are unique. So those babies are going to be small for age, okay? So they do not have enough weight. For them, the weight is going to be less than 2.5 kg. This is the first feature that you're going to notice. And you're also going to see that the face is having some characteristic features. So they have a flat face. They have something that you call upslanted eyes. So their eyes are like the eyes of Mongolians. So we used to call it Mongolism. So because they're having eyes like this, so they're upslanted. And they have a short nose, which is also flat, and they tend to have some big tongue, very small mouth. They have something that we call a flat occiput. The occiput is this part of the head, the back of the head. It is flat, and also they have some features at the level of the hands and the feet that are not really looking the same as for the normal baby. So this is generally what you see. So you see that the face is not really normal. It looks somehow strange compared to how babies should look like.
Are there any medical conditions associated with Down syndrome that parents should be aware of?
So they're more likely to get some heart conditions, some heart diseases. 50% of them are going to have heart diseases. 25% of them are going to have some gastrointestinal problems. So they may have some malformation at the level of the intestines, at the level of the stomach. The majority of them also are going to have tendency to infections. So they are more likely to get serious infections that can kill them. Some of them are going to have increased likelihood to get blood cancers. Most of them are going to get some problems with hearing. So they can get hearing impairment. They can get something that you call otitis media, which is an infection within the ears that can lead to hearing impairment. Some can get some problem in the thyroid function that is going also to impair the way they are growing. And they can get hypothyroidism, which is also a bad condition that is going to impair with the way the body function and also the growth.
Does it affect life expectancy?
Yeah, the condition itself, the Down syndrome, because it's a genetic condition, so there is no cure for that. You cannot change the genes that are somehow impaired. But the comorbidities that are associated with it, those cardiac conditions, the respiratory problems that are going to arise because of the nose and the issue, the ENT, the other problems in the ears, those can be managed. So now, if the patient are having those comorbidities, generally we address them. We send them, we have something that we call a multidisciplinary approach. So they have to be followed with different specialties, cardiologists, respiratory specialists, ear and nose throat specialists. And we have to make sure that also we screen for cancers, for example, because they are more likely to get some blood cancers. And also we have to make sure that we're going to send them sometimes to speech therapists to help them to acquire good skills in terms of speech and so on. So we have to work as a team, different specialties, in order to optimize the way they interact with life in itself. So then, if those comorbidities are really addressed, if they are timely addressed, generally the life expectancy of them is good. So most of them are going to reach 40 years. They can even go up to 50 years of age. Every woman who is pregnant and want to deliver, generally she should deliver at a qualified healthcare institution. So healthcare professionals knows how to detect Down syndrome. So when a child is born with Down syndrome, we know exactly how it looks like. And when we see that, the second step is going to be, we have to make sure that we're going to screen for the different comorbidities that can be associated with that. Because early detection of those comorbidities is going to be associated with good outcomes, because those comorbidities are going to be addressed timely, and these can really save those kids. Because they do not die because of Down syndrome, they die because of the different comorbidities that are associated with that.
And on behalf of the entire news production team and the technical team that has helped us prepare this for you, thank you for staying with us. Have a blessed and fruitful weekend.